Laughter, tears, playing, and fighting were all common on a regular basis in Nana and Pop-Pop's backyard. Tears took place when someone tripped and scraped a knee. Fighting happened when someone stole another's toy. However, the majority of the time was spent laughing and playing together. Playing was what my cousins and I did best. With the five of us ranging no more than 3 years apart, it was never a dull moment. My cousins were the siblings I never had. We all lived in different towns, so we always met at Nana and Pop-Pop's. That was our all-time favorite place to play. In the summer, we would sit in the hot sun and eat our ices, taking a much-needed break from playing in the sprinklers. In the fall, we'd pose next to Halloween decorations before trick-or-treating. In the winter, we'd build giant snowmen and have endless snowball fights. And in the spring, we'd have Easter egg hunts and play with the blow-up Easter bunnies Nana put up for decoration. No matter what time of the year it was, that backyard was the best place to play. The grass was just as green as it was in the cartoons we watched, and something about the shade of the bright red fence made everything seem brighter. The giant dogwood tree provided the perfect shade for when we needed a play break, and the long driveway was perfect for riding our bikes on. As if all of that wasn't enough, Papa put up a swing set and even made us a sandbox. Pop definitely won Grandfather of the Year award when he revealed our new toy, the Jeep. At first we were too young to reach the pedals, so he would walk behind the Jeep pushing the pedal down with a long wooden stick. There was nothing he loved more than seeing us happy. When we were big enough to reach the pedals on our own, it was a constant battle over who got to drive it. To avoid any fights, while some of us drove the Jeep, Pop-Pop would pull the others up and down the long driveway in the red wagon, which, like any other important vehicle, had to have a license plate. However, in this case, it had to have five, one with each of our names. Times like the ones in the wagon were my favorite because it was time I got to spend with Pop-Pop. When my cousins weren't around, Pop would play with me in the backyard until it was dark out. I love these days more than any others. Whether we were playing catch, picking tomatoes, or just sitting on the big red swing, I never wanted my alone time with him to end. I couldn't dream of a better playmate. No one could possibly come close to being as wonderful as Pop-Pop, so naturally was. When I was 12 years old, Pop passed away. Nana moved into an apartment just up the road, and my heart broke as we packed everything into boxes. I tried to be strong and hold in my tears, but as I walked out the back door, tears streamed down my cheeks and landed on the steps. So many happy pictures were once taken where my tears now began to form a little puddle. I remembered how restless we would get when our parents made us pose for pictures when all we wanted to do was continue playing whatever game we decided on that day. Then it hit me. No more backyard. 12 years of memories with my amazing family flashed before my eyes. I hated that couple for buying the house, for taking my backyard away from me. Years later, to avoid the feeling of sadness, I avoided driving past Nana and Pop-Pop's house. I chose to keep my wonderful memories in my mind and not ruin them with the thought of other people playing in my backyard. One May morning, while eating brunch with my family in Nana's kitchen, my uncle told us how the people who had bought the house redid it. My cousin and I couldn't resist seeing what the backyard stealers had done. So on the way home that day, we drove by the house. It looked completely transformed. I glanced at the backyard and began to cry. But these weren't the angry tears I usually got when thinking about these intruders. They were happy tears. The backyard, much like the newly renovated house, looked different. There was a new fence and play set. But there, under the huge dogwood tree we used to rest under, was a family, laughing and playing. I realized that one day these kids playing would get to have amazing memories of that very special backyard my family and I all cherished, and in that moment I couldn't have been any happier.